Hi, my name is Melanie, and in this video I'm going to be talking about teen pregnancy and my personal story on how I found out I was pregnant at 15 and how I'm going to have my daughter at 16. So before I start, I would like to say I'm not supporting teen pregnancy, and I'm not telling you to go out there and do your little thing and get pregnant. No, negative. But I will support anybody who's in a similar situation as myself. So anyway, let's start off with I was getting morning sickness. My chest started to grow a lot, and that was not normal for me. So I had morning sickness for about like 2 to 3 weeks, and I kept telling myself like, no, let's wait for your period, it's probably on its way. So my period was skipped for like a long time. A very long time. It went on 2 to 3 weeks to 4. So I kept looking up all my symptoms, and everything that kept coming up was pregnancy. And I'm like, nope, I'm not, because I never thought that could happen to me, but it did happen to me. So I found out. I didn't find out. Well, I did find out, but I basically went to Applebee's with my sister. The day I found out, I went to Applebee's with my sister. And where I live, there's an Applebee's, and it came up right next to it. So my plan was to eat in Applebee's and then go to Kmart to get a pregnancy test, because these symptoms was not normal. So I got the pregnancy test, and I went home. I waited till 12 o'clock in the morning, because they say morning urine is the most accurate. So I waited till 12 a.m. So, I peed on a stick, obviously, but I was waiting there for like 2 minutes. I couldn't look at it, and then I pick it up and I see there's one line, and then the other one is faint, like it's really faint, and then it starts to appear more. And then my heart drops to my butt, and I just start crying like really bad, like I went straight to sleep after. So the next day I went on a week without telling my parents, because I was so scared. I didn't know how to tell them. When I told my boyfriend, he was shook, like he was in denial, and so was I. Like, we wasn't ready for any of that. We wasn't thinking it can happen, but again, it did. So basically week went by, and then I tell my sister, and she was like, oh my god, what are you gonna do? I'm like, bitch, I don't know, blah blah blah. So we call my grandma. Before I tell you that, so my father and my mother kind of had a suspicion, because I kept saying I had the stomach bug for like 3 weeks. So they knew that was way off, because stomach bug can last for so long. So we call my grandma, and we're like, grandma, I don't know how to say this, but I'm pregnant and I'm scared to tell mom and dad. And my grandma's very holy, so she was happy. And I'm happy now, but when I was telling her, I was scared. Like, I didn't expect that reaction. So she says, keep me on speaker, we're gonna tell your mother right now. And I'm like, grandma, I can't, I'm scared. And she's like, it's okay, mamamita, blah blah blah. So my mom was sleeping, my father was at work. So she said, keep me on speaker and I'll tell her for you, and I'll basically be there to guide you. So I'm like, mom, wake up. And I put the phone, my grandma's like, put the phone next to her. So I put the phone next to her, and she was like, Monica, are you awake? My mom was like, she was half asleep. And my grandma was like, you're gonna be a grandma. My mother was like, that's when she really woke up. She was like, and my grandma was like, I'm gonna be a great grandma. And then my mom's like looking at me and looking at my sister. She was like, what's going on? Then my grandma was like, Melanie's pregnant. She's pregnant. And I started crying because that's not how I wanted it to get out. She was basically telling it like, oh my God, we gotta celebrate, blah, blah. I'm 15, so what am I gonna do with a baby? Like, that's what I was thinking back at the time. Like, I was scared. She was telling her like, oh my. So basically, that happened. And my grandma's like, don't do anything, just talk to her, blah blah. Then my mom's like, oh, okay, I'll call you back later. And then my grandma's like, please Melanie, keep it, blah blah blah. I'm like, Grandma, we'll call you back later. So my mom was yelling at me. She was very disappointed at first, very disappointed. She calls my father and she says, oh, Melanie, gotta tell you something when you get home, blah blah blah. I was crying so bad because I didn't know how to tell my father, because my father is still my best friend. Like, I didn't want to be like, yeah, Dad, I'm pregnant. So when he came home, I couldn't tell him. So I was crying really bad, and my mom told him, and my heart dropped again. I just started crying. He said, I knew you were pregnant because I knew you wasn't sick, because you wake up every morning, early in the morning, to throw up, and I never used to wake up early, so that was not normal for me. So that's when he knew. He said, I was just waiting for you to tell me, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, well, that's your responsibility. You gotta take care of it. You gotta step up for whatever you did, and you gotta do what you gotta do. So I went to sleep upset, scared, didn't even know what to do. The next day I get out of school, blah blah, and we go to the hospital. We drop off my sister to the house and we go to the hospital. So we were waiting in the hospital for like a long time. We were in there for like about 4 hours, because this hospital is it was so busy that day. So they put this needle in my arm, this cold fluid, I forgot what it's called. Okay, anyway. So I was sitting there, they were like asking me, when did you get your periods, probably period cramps. I'm like, no, I didn't even get my period, that's the thing, blah blah blah. So they take my urine, take some blood, blah blah blah, and then they come back and they come in the room and they're like, can I talk to Melanie alone? And my mom was looking like, she's a minor. And I'm like, no, she can stay. And they were like, you're pregnant. And I'm just, my heart still dropped, but I already knew because I took a pregnancy test. And my mom was like, she wasn't surprised because I told her. They just wanted to see if everything was fine. So after, they were like, we're gonna check if the baby's okay, everything's going great. So they take me to go do an ultrasound. So I'm doing the ultrasound. My mom couldn't be in the room because I don't know why. So they did the ultrasound and I saw a little, like, it's not really little, it wasn't really little, but it was small, and I see like a little heartbeat in the middle, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a baby. That's a baby inside of me. I just didn't want to believe it, but when I saw that, I don't know, when I saw my baby on the ultrasound screen, it was realistic. I don't know. So we're leaving the hospital, everything's fine, the baby's healthy. They told me to catch up on some prenatals, blah blah blah. So we're leaving the hospital. My father calls, and him and my mother were like, whatever you want to do, we're behind you. We got your back. Your whole family supporting you, blah blah blah. So I felt like really loved and supported. Like, without family and support, I didn't know how I was gonna get through it, because I wouldn't be this far right now. Like, really, I wouldn't be this far without my mom, my dad, and my family. So yeah, I guess that's how my parents found out. That's how I found out. There will be more videos coming up. But make sure, for the sexually active people out there, you wear your condoms and you on birth control. Don't think just because you take birth control you won't get pregnant. No, you gotta use some condoms too, because there's diseases, all that. So yep, please like and subscribe and put in the comments any questions. Thanks for watching.